Did you ever question the definition of self-realization?
Not like...
I mean, you have taken this as a granted, like as if self-realization is the God.
Why wouldn't I take it for granted? Because that's what Ramana said, that's what all the ancient sages said.
So that's what I'm telling.
I have full faith in...
if somebody is a very good thinker, asking the question, who am I, is a very reflective process.
Yes.
It's a thinking,
Yes.
it's an intellectual game. You are
yes,
thinking,
yeah.
you are thinking, who am I? Since you are taken a route which essentially depends on your thinking and power of reflection, sorting out the informations. So obviously you want to ask, what is that you are going to end with? Like,
So
you say you are going to, somebody says, yeah, I am going to realize the self. So what does that mean?
So the way Ramana puts it is that once you really go deep into the inquiry, the question disappears and whatever your natural status shines through. So what does that mean?
What does that mean? You tell me, what does that mean? Do you really go and think that, who am I? If you go there...
No, it's not like a mantra. I mean, again, as you say, it's a reflective process.
It is not a mantra, it is a reflective process.
It's a tool to go...
It's a tool,
yes.
Because you are using a tool
Yeah.
to find out who are you.
Yes.
So, what are the answers that comes out of it?
The answers comes that, I don't know if any answers come, but I know
it
what
does.
I'm not.
No, of course, no. When you know what you are not, that means you are assuming that something you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, how do you know what you are not?
But
it's an assumption that you are something, that the answer that is coming out is not what you think you are. What do you think you are?
I don't know.
Then how are you comparing? It gives a presupposed assumption of something.
No, but at some point even that goes. That's what I understand.
But every time when you judge yourself, judge against what? Somebody else's concept. Isn't it?
Till a point.
Why do you say I am not? Then what are you?
I don't know.
That's why I challenge you. When somebody says, I am not that, in that statement, if you are intelligent, if you are honest, you see that it gives us a presupposed assumption of a knowledge of that. It is only then you can say, I am not that.
But some people have gone beyond that.
No, what is that beyond?
I don't know.
The beyond itself is a joke.
But then wasn't Yuji in some state which I can't fathom? I don't know.
That's what you are assuming.
But he was functioning differently.
How do you think he was functioning differently? He is eating, he is joking, he is sitting there making fun of everybody. And what is the difference? It's only the difference is that I know you have some assumption.
But it seems it
have
looks
any
different
assumption.
Like that.
That
Even when I watch him on video, you can feel that it's
not
just an ordinary
assumptions. If there is no, when you talk to somebody, if you don't have a presupposed idea of where you are going, you will talk very differently. It is the idea that you are driving towards for a discussion makes you take a side. Like, for example, how do you know Ramana was any different from another human being?
I don't know, but it seemed like he was functioning differently.
It's our respect.
That's not true. I could be respectable towards any intellectual, any philosopher, but it's different from how I...
Exactly. That has been done by the con man by putting an idea about the superiority of God which takes you all the problem. Like if you realize self, all problems are gone. That sab mushkil asan ho jayega is the biggest dope that they have given us. It doesn't exist.
No, but
everything, all problems will go away. That is the greatest escape route for a human species. Obviously, everybody wants to get rid of the problem. Who wants to live with problem? Tell me. Nobody. But I want something to happen to me so that there is no pain.
But that question was addressed by them, and they said that it doesn't operate on this level. You will still face the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so then why am I doing that?
But because there is something, it gives some purpose to life,
Yeah. So that means
there is more to life.
Exactly. So what is wrong in somebody lay down a beautiful, invisible steps which take you to a place where Jesus is standing there smiling, hold your hand, takes to the other side. You can imagine anything you want. What's wrong with that? That also gives them purpose of taking the suffering at stride.
But within me, I know that's not my purpose of life.
Then what is your purpose of life? Look, here it is the most important thing. Whatever you think out of all your intellectual capacity and feeling means I feel living very saintly, very, very intelligently and not harming anybody, addressing everybody's well-being is a very good purpose of life. You are thinking that line. But all these ideas that whatever you know, it's handed down by a cultural input. Absolutely. Can you ever think of something that you can tell as the purpose of life which is not already existing in some or other culture? Please come out with something and tell me.
But despite you explaining so much, that concept doesn't go that those two people whom I really adored, they were functioning differently.
Yes, they were functioning
so
differently.
There is something different about them. There was something.
The difference is that.
So aren't they self-realized?
There is that word itself is a con game.
It could be like any other term. It doesn't matter.
It is the absence of the idea that operates life.
So isn't that a state to reach for?
No. That is, you are always functioning that way.
But I don't know that.
You do know all the time. You are looking at me. That process itself. You are hearing the sound. Accept what you are looking at, unless you want to know what you are looking, unless the sound that goes there, you want to decipher that sound through the meanings that is already reaching there, minus those two, you are already functioning that way. This system is wired to function this way. If I bring a rose, looking at it, you are forced to see the way this rose appears. There is no choice. That is the way the world is choicelessly presented in front of you. Your eyes and the entire system is looking at that exactly that way, except your idea is masking it and telling the rose is beautiful, more beautiful than the other flowers. So you already put an element of judgment, I like red, I don't like green, things like that. That is, the absence of that is a simple thing.
But that's what we are not able to do, right? It's such a simple thing, yes.
No, don't say able to do. It is always doing it. Except you want to impose the idea that handed over to you, make it the prime thing. Like what they say, self-realization. Somebody will say communism. Somebody will say Christianity. Somebody will say the Mecca statue. Somebody will say, like these guys will say, what is there in the Golden Temple? Some Baba is sitting there with a nice thing.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Depending on which one is sitting inside your head, like this solid background conditioning, you tend to believe that is it. You don't question that.
But so many people came to Ramana and they used to feel some peace. And
how many people came to Ramana? The number of people came to Ramana is insignificantly small than the number of people go to Pope.
So Guha, then the point becomes as to how to drop your conditioning in order to
you don't drop the conditioning. You don't drop the conditioning. When you see how it is operating inside you, you will come to know that it's an impossible task. Then you fall in a rhythm. You don't push yourself. You don't convince yourself that your conditioning is the better conditioning than others. Same way, you don't impose your conditioning on others to keep your conditioning alive.
But then coming back to Ramana, why would he keep telling people to just do this who am I inquiry? He says that was...
What else can he do when the people come and ask questions? You are asking me questions.
Because he gave false hope.
You know what?
No,
I always admired him.
Yeah.
He was a really smart guy. You know how? I'm telling you, if there is a house full of people and if I can rule, I will make sure nobody can talk to each other in his presence. Your sense of ego, which gets satisfaction out of talking and exchange, is already curbed by that. At least you come to a place where you cannot blah, 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 small talk all the time. That's what people do all the time. Go to a party, Small talk. Every day. This is a kind of a, two smokers go there, immediately they light a smoker.
Yeah.
Talking is nothing like that. It's exactly same thing. Small talks to me. I'm not asking anybody to stop smoking and small talks, but they are like this. Purposeless waste of energy. You call it entertainment. Sure, you can entertain yourself because the head is there, you are tired. You don't know how to stop it, so you entertain yourself.
Even like in his last days when he was about to pass.
Look. He was trying to tell that the thing that happened to him is beyond pain. He suffered agonizing pain.
Yes.
It does not leave saint and sinner. The biology, this bacteria, they are the life. Your idea, when you put forward in front of that life, you are going to falsify. You are having pain, conflict, and you will show, I have no pain. It just doesn't work that way. And in fact, why I always try to tell that this will lead you to a conflict that is unnecessary. For example, we have in India this idea of soul, spirit, the idea of God, and that sense of self is outside the body. We have tortured ourselves beyond belief, this species, and we give false justification. A child dies and we say, okay, when they die young, the soul is released very fast.
Right.
We have
Supposed
seen
to be good, yeah.
it's supposed to be good.
Good
Is
people die.
it really good? I mean, imagine about that. Why would then life create all these things? To me, it's a violation of something that is very sacred and very good.
The thought and the idea is the
The
violation.
idea, because you are completely conditioned to see those who pray your God are supposed to be in harmony with you and they're your friends, and the others are idiots. That is how the justification, that is the source of the conflict for 100,000 years that's going on. You don't need to exercise this, if you just have the foundation that they're different. But to me, it's like a many body system has to be different. When something came up out of a tremendous unknown process that we can't decipher and which contains trillions of fundamental particles, their juxtaposition of this thing has to be unique. That is the reason when you have a trillion number of small particles in a very intricate way, they are connecting, as we used to say, is this fortuitous concourse of atoms, you and I. It has to be different. And what is the properties of this organization? One small aspect of this thing is what we are talking about. Even that conceptual understanding, unless we put a common mode of expression, like if we tell everybody 1 + 1 = 2, and from that, and 0 and 1 are two different states, from there we can construct the entire mathematical theory. And like that, until I say those things, there is nothing, it's different. So that is the common model. You are human, woman, I'm human, I'm man. So we are separating out color, different color, such as Indian color, Chinese color, white, and all. But fundamentally, it's very similar. The only difference is each one is unique. That's all. But there is nothing special about that uniqueness. That is what we are seeking for. So by hammering this all the time, this sense of your superiority or inferiority is already stabilizing itself all the time. Because this is one of the fundamental problems. I want my daughter to be number one. Everybody wants that. The competition and fighting is inevitable. What do? And if it is not, your sadness nobody can take. Mother's sadness of their children's failure, nobody can remove. They are so monstrous.
That's true.
But you want this wanting mechanism, want some mental perfection. The perfection that is created out of the intellectual comparison. We are seeking that. That is the problem. The problem is not that you want a resolution. You don't want resolution. You want perfection. and perfection is created by human thoughts. So you think grass flower is less perfect than that? It's just the way you learned what looks better.
So people who have been practicing self-inquiry for many, many years, so they will just
I have no objection about that.
No, so what I'm saying is that whatever they
if
really,
somebody is really hit,
yeah.
he will come to know what he was smoking.
So it will just be an experience.
Poor guy,
Yeah.
he was hit. He was hit by a death process. Probably he himself couldn't comprehend what was it.
Yeah, so he thought that question was fundamental, that who am I? Because he asked that question.
He not only asked that question, he also realized that there was some kind of pressure that wants a resolution was somehow not there. And he couldn't figure it out how to address that into others. These are the things you cannot transfer.
Right. Yeah.
So you just give away with the hope that maybe that, because this is the general nature. The general nature is like, you are convinced that, I am convinced that there is something that is always wanting to come out in a very, very specific way. Wanting to come out means it wants to relieve of the strain that my surroundings, my knowledge, my state of comparison is always oppressing it. It creates a constant fear. And this system doesn't want that. Period. That is the truth. Even if somebody functions very well under stress and fear, that doesn't mean that this body is enjoying it.
Right.
You can produce a Van Gogh and a Picasso. They are so angst-ridden. They are cutting their ear.
Yeah.
So the horrible life, wherever they are going, they are fucking indiscriminately. Whatever they drug doesn't mean anything. That production does not tell equanimity and harmony. So it's a two different factors. So if you are seeking for something that those people are represent, great. What is that? Your great cricketer? Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar is an image.
Yeah.
And there is this, there is Picasso, there is
Right.
Einstein. We have all this, and they are not bad. They were driven by something, they achieved something. But when your imagination tied up to become that produces a permanent disorder and pain and sorrow that nobody can take it out. It is your wish fulfillment that is driving you nuts. Whether it is wish for God or perfection or better human being or whatever you say. That's anti-social, that's why it's anti-social. It's a prescription to misery. Can you live without a hope? But that is what the inquiry is supposed to do.
To perpetuate that?
Yes. The inquiry is supposed to bring that hope to an end. Until then, what happens? As long as you inquire, that long you are perpetuating the hope. Without hope, how can it perpetuate? You are looking for something, and you have a hope that you are going to reach that state. And that state is a concept in your head, nothing else.
So why would people like him lead others the wrong way then? Why would he tell to do this?
Then he has to zip his lip. He tried everybody to zip their lip, other than asking questions. Totally. Nobody talks. And Yuji took the other one. He didn't allow anybody to talk either. He will talk himself all the time.
Same effect.
Same effect. He will talk such nonsense that your brain processor will take backseat.
His Ramana's favorite term was Summa Iru. That means
Just shut up. Simply shut up.
that's it. Be still.
Simply shut up. That's the smoke. You're restless, jittery all the time. Want something. What? Money is the only thing that you should want. Will take care of everything, including your health.
Another thing I don't understand about
Yes.
Ramana is that when his mother was dying,
Oh gosh. He wouldn't stop them making a temple out of that poor cow.
Yeah.
Why would he do that if there is no
so
difference?
these are the things, inconsistencies which
That's
I don't
what he
understand.
says.
Yeah.
You are perpetuating a mantra which says Pita nasti, bandhur nasti, mata nasti.
Yeah.
When you are self-realized, nothing is there.
Right.
And this guy, he tells mom, when the people are talking about, Mom, let's do one thing. Let's go. Let them stay here.
That is true. Yeah. He did that. Yeah. No, but what is he supposed to do in that sense? He let her go?
Ooh.
The Ramana?
Don't ask me. What's the difference between mother and another bitch? Because pita nasti, bandhu nasti, mata nasti, nobody nasti. All relationship exist because of ajnana. Ajnana means we have not realized self. That's why through our wrong knowledge, we create a relationship between two people. As soon as you realize the self, they go out. Then whatever is in front of you is what it is. That's it. You go, that goes. It's like that. That's what they tell. It's never like that. It's just the way of telling. You think Yuji will not know what is his daughter? Bullshit stories. It is the way to give you a hint about the powerful process that enacts when somebody is challenging him. At that time, nothing exists. It's like a man and a woman is fucking. Nothing exists. That's it. Nothing else is there. That's the totality of the interaction. But as long as you are human with a human brain, the space is always available to you. Space in which the informations are embedded is available to you. Because as soon as you see a set of food, that space will tell you, this is fish, this is meat. You are not touching them. This is onion, this is... You are using that space where these informations are created. So without that space, nothing exists. If you have a human brain, this information has to be there. The only difference is that information by itself will not produce a desire. Just because I have an information, what I did in my young age, it's never going to bother me. It's there, but it's never going to bother me. So that's the difference. But they don't go away anywhere. You will speak Kemcho Saruche, your Gujarati or your Tamil. It's not going to go. It's an assumption. We want to project like everything is out. It's just a way of telling.
But isn't that all the scriptures, the shastras, the meditatives, the yogas, everybody is dangling that same carrot for you to follow all these. If you follow this, that and the other, you get that.
Might as well earn money and you can get those guys to do your temple service.
No, but why do they do this? I mean, there's
So all
got to be
these
some
spiritual
base.
leaders, and so they did like a lot of wrong, or they led people on the wrong path, or gave wrong hope.
Absolutely.
But what makes them do that? Why? I mean, why would they do that?
Why?
I mean,
For thousands and thousands of years.
I have a very simple example. Like 100 years ago, it was almost absolutely most people on this planet thought the earth was flat. Earth is the center of the universe, everything, and there is a God, everything. That is totally not true.
right.
Almost every person who studies a little bit understand that that is not true. The earth is round, and just because that some information was peddled because of the lack of understanding of the way things work doesn't mean that those are truth and valid. That's what I am trying to say. But see,
No, but
it is very
you
easy to, it's very easy to accept that the transition from earth is not flat, from the information that earth is flat. It's not. But when something different, like there is some extraordinary vigilant being which is watching over your actions, accept that no such thing exists is harder because it is a part of what you know who you are.
Yeah.
And that is the main problem. Otherwise, there is no problem. It's just like that information. Scientists are coming to tell you, we don't know anything. There is no such thing exist. Forget it. It's only in your mind and your ideas. God never punishes anybody. It is only human beings who kills each other. Period. When you are tortured by another human, you think God is testing you. or some such
Yeah.
crap.
That's what makes it bearable, I guess.
Yeah, not bearable. That's doing exactly opposite to you're justifying your pain instead of fighting against the pain. God is doing bad things because you are a bad person. That's what they will tell you, fear. If you don't have, how will they control you ever? Tell me. And it is the control that means everything. I call it internal police. Outside, you can be clever and then
Right.
always do the wrong
Yeah.
thing and hide it,
Yeah.
But then if I very systematically that somebody is watching, buddy,
Hold on. Yeah.
then if that is very strong, you can't exercise your sense of pleasure at all. It's impossible even before you. If somebody says smoking a cigarette is just disobeying God, this is going to come through your mind every time you try to turn a cigarette on, or every time anything that has been said as wrong. If you're about to do that, those are the ideas comes and creates a conflicting situation. My question is, what is? I'm not telling that don't do anything. I was telling somebody came to me and said that he's 100% sure that he went to a place called Sarada. Sarada was Sri Ramakrishna's
Right.
wife. So it seems she has a very potent mutt
Okay.
where really people get a lot of benefit out of going there and praying and doing some Kara service, voluntary work. So he is 100% sure that he get benefit out of it, like he got his job back and blah blah blah. I said, boy, you are the luckiest man on this planet. Every time you have a problem, please go there. I suggest you.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you are a fool.
Yeah. It's true.
And I'm sure that is not true. Otherwise, you won't be sitting here and wasting your time and listening to this crap. You pick up your bag, go there. You have perfectly some problem. Always there is a problem. Either wife is not loving, or children is not listening, or office boss is hammering, or somebody is trying to snatch your property away. Something or other, Make a list. Whenever it is 10, just go there. Tick, tick, tick. Mother solved everything. Happy camper. Doesn't work that way. That's the only problem.
So now that you say there is nothing to look for, there is nothing there. And
I am saying
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that you should accept. Every smart fellow will come and convert your mind.
That's what I feel. I feel very deceived. that there is
Exactly.
nothing. Yeah.
That should be the anger. That anger is a fire. That fire is the one which will burn all the junk from inside you and bring you to a very solid. These 2 feet are grounded. No shit can remove it. That's the grounding. Then you will see the world will appear differently. You will move differently. Doesn't mean that problems. It's the same. You and Augusta will have same kind of going on. Sometimes he's happy, sometimes you're happy, sometimes he's not happy about you, sometimes you're not about. These are just the rhythm of life, I say. That's going to be there. You can't help it. You don't expect all these things are going to vanish. If you expect,
No, I don't
you
expect,
live,
but
you
I
live in hope and die in hope. That's the old man's dialogue, It's just a truth.
And there's no expectation, but I feel very deceived all that there's nothing there and I've been pursuing something and then I don't know what to do
It's
now.
a relief. Why you are thinking bad? It's a relief. Oh my God, I was carrying a burden which really doesn't exist.
But then what am I supposed to do?
So you see, you want to carry the burden. Don't you see the dynamics of it? You don't want your fear and sense of oppression go away. You are enjoying. You are becoming a masochist. You enjoy those things. Now, if it is not there, you feel you don't live.
That's true.
It's become such a part of the entity and identity.
Yes, and it is the rule. This.
But that's all you know. That's all you have identified yourself.
Yes, so enjoy it. Why complaining? Why fighting against it? And then even just enjoy.
Enjoy the misery.
Enjoy the misery. It is written all over.